not just happening here in Coos County and in Coos Bay and in North Bend. It's happening all over the state. And joining me right now is Suzanne Gallagher from Parents' Rights and Education. Suzanne, how you doing?
Yeah. Hi, Rob. Really good.
Wow, you sound great. You got a
I'm
microphone, did
using
you?
my mic, so
Okay, perfect.
hopefully the volume and the clarity is
I know
great.
we're not using the video for this. Do you use video for your podcast when you do your podcast?
No, I don't.
That's
It's just almost too much production because I'm doing the producing right now, and that's about all I can handle. But soon we'll be reformatting and bringing guests on and doing much
cool.
more with it. It'll be focused mostly on K through 12 education, and we'll be looking forward to featuring guests on that show, especially parents and local leaders who are fighting the fight on the ground in their communities.
I imagine there are a lot of parents and especially students who have really good stories to tell you that fit into what you're fighting for and what you're trying to do as far as the change that's going on, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have just amazing stories about leaders who started out with us. One in particular that I'm thinking of in Ohio, she started out with us about, oh gosh, 4 years ago, and she's behind a lawsuit. She went after,
Nice.
actually, it was a GSA sponsored situation in her school having to do with badges that the teachers were wearing at the beginning of the school year. They're called I'm Safe. Either the teachers wear these badges, around their necks, with a lanyard,
Right.
or they put signs on their doors, or they pass out cards. I've got a card right here that's from Tiger Tualatin schools. So this is all across the country, and it probably is in your school. If you're not seeing it, it's right around the corner.
And I heard from several different people, especially in the mid school. This is what blew my mind. This is in the mid school where they were saying that there were GSA posters all over their school. And I guess my first question is I on the poster that I had on my website, it said Gender Sexuality Association, but someone was telling me it was Gender Straight Association. What does GSA stand for? Do you know?
Well, GSA clubs were started, oh, quite some time ago. I've done a lot of research on that and reported on it in the past, and also on my podcast I talk about it. And over time they decided to change the name, although they didn't change the acronym. So
Right.
it used to be Gay Straight Alliance. GSA clubs, and they are an offshoot of, or part of, actually under the umbrella of GLSEN, GLSEN, which is the Gay Straight Education, gay, okay, Gay Lesbian Straight Education, yeah, GLS Education Network.
And from what I understand, I know it's hard to figure out all these letters, MOUSE, and
I know.
and
But it's GLSEN. And GLSEN has been around a long time. And they made a decision that it was brilliant, really,
right,
to put these clubs, because they know that public schools have to allow clubs in the school. Most of the requirements are very loose; they're not very tight. And if the kids, they're supposed to be student led, but we know they're not really student led, because I mean, these are kids. In fact,
right.
they have them in the grade schools now in Oregon. So
In the
grade
grade in
school.
the grade
Oh
schools.
yes, in
Oh my
Portland
gosh.
grade school, Raleigh Hills. Yeah. So grade school, then middle school and high school, they all have them now. And GSA clubs, they're sex clubs, Rob. Think about
That's
it. They're sex clubs. And,
that's what I
and
was calling
they're
it.
alternative sex clubs, basically.
Well, yeah, because they're pushing this drag queen event that I contacted you about, and I've been arguing with certain people. Say, well, what's wrong with having drag? And I kept saying, well, what's wrong with having strippers or BDSM performance artists coming in and doing their thing? Well, I mean, how far are we going to push this to the point where it's a sex club. We're sexualizing children here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But we're not just sexualizing them about heterosexual sex. And
Right.
we have to talk about this because most people they're clueless. This really didn't start on the scale that it is now. Oh, until about 5 years ago. Really, when I came on board, I remember it was one of the first things I wrote about. It was in Newburgh High School, and I talked about the Day of Silence. Now, the Day of Silence is an activist day advocating for gay and lesbian and now transgender rights in the public school setting. And what they do is they talk about it in their classes. They sometimes cover their mouth, to be silent in solidarity with the gays and lesbians and transgender students in their school. And, the peer pressure is big. And we all know that from when we were in school. I mean, gosh,
Right.
if everybody in the school is talking about it, you either better shut up or go along. And so the alliance part of the gay and straight, or now it's called Gender Sexuality Alliance. So they changed the term. Why? Why do you think they changed the term?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm a kid and I see anything to do with sexuality on the wall, I'm going, hey, I think I want to be a part of this club.
Well, and see now then, but it doesn't say gay straight. Now it's saying gender.
Gender. Yeah.
The Gender Sexuality Alliance. So now the focus is on the gender piece, and in Oregon that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So bottom line, what these clubs are doing, they are soliciting and recruiting minors to experiment with alternative forms of sexual behavior at a very young age, when they're even in grade school. So if they're 10, and make a decision about what they are. They'll fill out a survey and they'll put it, check a box.
The spectrum of
So when
sexuality.
they do that in front of their peers, Rob,
Yep.
they're making a statement, and it's really hard to dial that back. When you're like 12, 13 years old,
Exactly.
it's too embarrassing. And then adults come alongside of them, promising not to tell their parents. Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. In fact, the law in Oregon, and the latest policy that came out from Oregon Department of Education expands the gender policy, meaning among other things, providing services, keeping all of this from the parents. And not only that, school administrators state that by law they must go along and affirm the identity of their students. And if the parents do not approve, if they show that they disapprove, they will report them to Child Protective Services.
Good parents who aren't doing anything wrong.
Good parents who are standing up for their kids and saying, it is a cult. I'm not the only one that says that. The author of Irreversible Damage, bless her heart, Abigail Schreier.
I know who you're talking about.
She made that was one, major point that she made that I just thought awesome. And she also does, talk about this in her book, talks about the GSA clubs, how they're recruiting the kids. Now people will say, well, isn't it mostly on the internet? Oh yeah, sure. It's on the internet. Then they get online and they get, connected with chat rooms and watch TikTok videos and all of that. But if they try to leave, if they try to change their mind, now they'll say, oh, it's fluid. Oh, we love you any way you are. Be your authentic self and all that. But if you leave this club, watch out.
And that's what I've heard, and that's what we're experiencing.
They will shame you. Oh gosh, you're listening to your parents now. You're giving up. What about your authentic self, who you really are?
Right.
That's a lot of pressure on a minor.
Let me tell you a story that you don't know about, because this just happened this past Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. They had the walk of silence, which is where they all stand unified in solidarity for their gay, straight, lesbian brethren in school. And there was an event, and all of a sudden on Friday morning, I started getting all of these emails from parents of students who were being forced to wear these tattoos for this event. And if they didn't wear the tattoos, they were being bullied and shamed, not just by the students, but by certain teachers.
Yeah.
And the administrator and the principal were telling the parents, oh, no, that's just your kid's imagination. They're not being bullied. This is not happening. And I guess just listening to you, they're just covering for this group who are actually indoctrinating our kids and forcing them through peer pressure to go along with this stuff. This is evil. This is bad.
Well, it's attacking the parent-child a relationship. It's dividing and pitting students against their families, their parents. Now, some parents do go along with it, as we know. But what's fascinating is that a lot of the parents who have come forward, especially for Abigail and in her research, she said it was just amazing. She said, these are not conservative parents.
Right.
These are people who considered themselves to be so-called liberal, in other words, in their thinking. But this is where we all really do get on board together with other parents. They don't want anybody talking to their kid behind their back, and especially encouraging them to make life-changing, irreversible, life-changing decisions without their parents' knowledge or consent. Now, the law in Oregon, and people are just appalled. No way. Yes way.
Yeah.
They can perform surgery on your minor child without your knowledge or consent when they're 15. And now the new law that's going through the legislature, I'm sure you've been following that, reporting on it, Rob.
HB 2002, man. We are going to hell. I tell you what.
Yeah. It's and what's amazing, I just had this discussion with one of our allies on our side of the fence. They're working on school board races. And we were talking about the fact that there is no moderate. You cannot be a conservative moderate. There's no such thing.
Right.
If you hear anyone who claims to be conservative on the right side and they are talking moderate, they're really not in our camp. There is no in between. You're either way over here or way over there. These kinds of issues, there's nothing in between. And this is what really divides us more than anything, are the issues about our values, right. Our family values, our personal values, our property, basic constitutional rights that are inalienable rights. And by the way, parental rights are inalienable.
Absolutely.
And we don't need a parent's bill of rights. We have a lot of laws on the books in Oregon that uphold our rights. Our judicial system and our lawmakers are not paying attention to those laws.
Would you quickly go over HB 202 and let people know what this does? Because they may not know.
Okay, I don't have that in front of me. Bottom line, are you going to take a break? I can look it up.
Okay,
and come
back we'll go ahead and take a break, and then you can look it up, and I'll be right back.
This is Jason.
And this is Shauna with Coast Granite Creations. And we are here to let you know that we are much more than granite creations. We also carry a large selection of tiles with brand names like Bedrosians and Doll Tile. And we are proud to announce that we are the only distributors on the Oregon coast of Zen Paradise and Top Q, which is an all-natural stone tile distributor. Come on in and see our huge showroom for your projects or to set a free estimate for all your tile needs.
And we will floor you. We also carry an awesome line of granite gravel, which comes in a 3/4 minus size. You can use it in all your landscaping needs or anywhere you want to add some bling to your raised beds or pots in quantities from 1 bucket to a yard or more.
We are located between Coquille and Coos Bay, just 100 yards off of Highway 42 at 92240 North Bank Lane in the ginormous old Chromite Mill. So pick up the phone and give us a call right now at 833 Coast Granite, or if you look at the letters, it's 833 Coast GER.
Sure.
And don't forget,
We'll always call you back.
Before you choose your adventure, make sure your 4x4 is modified and ready to reach uncharted areas. Leave your cares behind and all the work to the experts at Tom & Giggs Automotive. From diesel power to towing access, the Bay Area's top 4x4 performance headquarters will help you get ready for wheeling and down the trail. Pick up all the necessities and the I've gotta have it's on the showroom floor. Get your rig adventure ready the right way with Tom & Giggs Automotive, your 4x4 performance headquarters. One block past the Boom & Y in Empire and online tomandgiggs.com.
You only need to hear their name to know that you're dealing with a company that is known for better products, better selection, lowest prices, and people who take a sincere interest in helping you choose the exact right products for both recreational and medicinal use. From flowers to pre-rolls, buds to tinctures, and more, Herbal Choices was first and is readily recognized as the very best. And a lot of the credit goes to the Herbal Choices people. People who are always ready to answer questions and make the best recommendation from the largest selection on the coast. And with 5 locations, you're bound to find an Herbal Choices near you. Coos Bay, North Bend, Charleston, Reedsport, and Bandon. Herbal Choices.
The first, the best, the only choice. Herbal Choices.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. For use only by adults 21 years of age and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
We're back in session. It's the Rob Taylor Report. And here he is, Rob Taylor.
If you have a student in public school today and you can hear me, you're one of my listeners, or you know people who are parents, you need to let them know that they need to tune in right now, because I got someone that they need to be listening to, because she's just validated everything that the students of North Bend have been saying that's been going on. And the principal and the administrator are saying that this bullying against straight students who don't want to participate, or any student that doesn't want to participate, is not happening. And she's validating this. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But right now we're talking about House Bill 2002. She's going to tell you exactly what this bill does. And I'm speaking with Suzanne Gallagher. Suzanne, go for it.
Okay. So, all of these laws and these policies that and programs that we're seeing implemented in the public schools, they are being implemented in the schools, but they've being put into law by our legislators.
Right.
Now, not all of them, but a majority, of course. So I want to back up just a speck and point out the Oregon Department of Education recently announced the publication of a new and expanded document celebrating gender expansive students. Have you talked about this with your audience?
No, I haven't. This, in fact, is a new term for me, gender expansive students.
Really?
Yes, this is new to me.
Okay, well, I could go into it if you want, but I'm gonna direct you to our website. I always like to point people to a direction where they can, see the actual information and read it. And this is an article that is featured on our website. We have a new website. It's parentsrightsandeducation.com. And there you'll find an article titled "Stop Messing with Our Kids." I mean, that's the bottom line. We're stop it. Just stop it. It ends here. We're done. No more opting out and all of that. It's impossible to opt out. We really quit recommending people, take opt-out forms to school. That used to work. And actually it was in law in Oregon that anybody could opt out of their sexuality education. But now they're teaching this in every subject beginning in kindergarten.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So this expanded document, it puts into policy the rights of students. So when we talk about parent and child relationship, we always thought that the kids were ours until they were 18. They had to go along with what the family values were. And then when they become 18, they can start making decisions on their own. And that's for a reason, because their brains are not fully developed to make, really important decisions until they're about 25 anyway.
Right.
But this expanded document, and I'm going to click on the link, takes you to the Oregon government civil rights section of the Department of Education. I just sent you that link. Okay, supporting gender expansive students, guidance for schools. The guidance is grounded in the recognition, respect, affirmation, friendship, joy, belonging, and safety every human deserves, including the students, staff, and families that make up our school communities. Now, I could talk for a half an hour on that one statement.
Yes.
But what I see there is an attempt by government to guarantee joy, friendship, and belonging, and affirmation, recognition, respect, every child all day long. Okay, and safety. That is not the role of government. We send our children to school to learn. Okay, they go on and they talk about developed in partnership with students, families, and school districts, community-based organizations, and state agency partners. This guidance is grounded in civil rights of students to be free from gender identity-based discrimination.
Right.
When pursuing their education. So they're calling this a civil right. The guidance provides assistance to districts, blah, 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 fostering educational environments. Now, I have seen this same verbiage that I just read to you in the first paragraph about friendship, joy, belonging, affirmation, and all of that in statements coming from the Tiger Tualatin School District. And so the school districts are using this as their guide. It is the law as far as they're concerned. ODE is releasing a set of supplemental resources aligned with the strategies. Your listeners can go to this link from our website and see what they have. It is deep and wide. There are so many documents here, and they feature all these different flags. It's no longer the transgender flag or the LGBTQ flag or those flags. It has to do with indigenous peoples and all kinds of things. Every kind of group you can think of. They have tools for students and families, gender affirming care resources. What do you think that is? That's how to go about changing your sex.
Right.
Okay. And they talk about them. It's LGBTQIA, meaning indigenous and something else. I've almost given up on all those letters. But anyway, so that article is on the homepage of our website. In addition, now the legislature started up, and we knew they were going to get into mischief.
Yes.
And they are on steroids. These policies are so detailed, and they are written up by the Department of Education before the laws are even passed. And what the Department of Education does is they take a law, which is usually doesn't sound all that bad, but it is the responsibility of the department to interpret what the law means. And so that's why if a parent says, "Hey, I don't want you talking to my daughter about changing her sex any longer. Okay, we'll handle this at home.
Right.
Please don't do that." And the principal will say, "Well, actually, we are required by law to affirm her new identity or his new identity." Okay. And if you get in the way, we'll call Child Protective Services. So House Bill 2002, I don't think it's new. I think it was initiated several years ago. I'm not. I think in 2002.
It was a revamp of another law.
This is a revamp of 2002. Okay, so what it does is it expands it, just like that other policy that we read, to set up gender affirming clinics. Now here we go. Clinics. Oh, not just our clinics that we have on school campuses that supposedly were for contraception.
Right.
These are clinics that will now be giving students dangerous drugs and hormones, etc., injecting them. Okay. And they will also provide mental and physical treatments, including surgeries, throughout the state, serving anyone, even out-of-state visitors, questioning their biological sex, all on demand, at taxpayers' expense,
Of course.
and without parent consent. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. It also does cover abortion, and I know Right to Life is working on that part of it.
Right.
They, of course, it still comes under our umbrella because, we care about students in school who are being taken off for abortion. Anything could go wrong, and they
That's
might
right.
come home and bleed to death. Parents don't even know that they've had, major surgery.
And they can't find out why a 10-year-old is pregnant if they don't even know they've had an abortion. So you may be covering up for sexual abuse. Isn't this correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 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 This really does invite grooming. It is grooming. We had a speaker at our last conference. He's our Idaho leader, former law enforcement, and he does make the case about grooming in public schools in the lower grades. It is without a doubt against the law. The law does state that there are certain actions and behaviors that qualify. So who knows that better but law enforcement?
Right.
But in the state of Oregon and California as well, I always remind people that we do have a law on the books that makes an exception for obscenity to be taught and shown in libraries, public schools at any age, and in museums. So they were very clever so there is a law that says if you talk to your neighbor's child who is a minor and show them images like they show to our kindergartners,
Right.
you'd be arrested and fined $10,000. But a public school teacher can do it.
Well, and that's what I kept telling my wife. If someone came and sat next to my kid at the playground and started talking to him about this stuff, where they sit, where they fit on the spectrum of sexuality and all this other stuff, that would be a pervert on the playground, and you could do something about that. But now we're basically codifying this action in the schools. This is disgusting. Hey, Suzanne, I've got to go and do a quick contest real quick, and then we're going to go to a commercial. And when we get back, I've got so many. We could talk about this for a couple of hours. I probably should have scheduled you longer, but we'll have you back if we run out of time. No problem. But I got to do a quick contest. So those of you folks out there who listen, I do a McDonald's giveaway, buy one, get one free sheet. I'm going to do 2 of those. I'm also going to give you a 1 free breakfast, lunch, or dinner sandwich, a 1 free breakfast, lunch, or dinner combo meal, a 1 free dessert of your choice, and a 1 free McCafe McBeverage. And you can get those at any of the 4 McDonald's in the surrounding area, 1 in Reedsport, 1 up in Walmart, 1 in North Bend, and 1 in Coos Bay. And if you want to win this package, all you have to do is be the 3rd caller at 541-267-2124. And with that, I'll be right back.
Some of us are just born to shop and to redecorate. The place we go is Coos Comfort Furniture and Appliance. Let's see. Contemporary or traditional? They have the lowest price on any quality furniture. Value, quality, and style? Plus pillows and adorable decor, too?
Hold up. We need a new refrigerator, and their prices compared to the big box stores.
Well, if we get a new refrigerator, we will need a new stove to match.
Good thing they're local. They remain committed to providing stoves, ovens, refrigerators, dishwashers, freezers, and microwaves. They even have 4 different brands to choose from: Amana, Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid appliances.
So I suppose you have to come with me. Good thing they have financing options if we're both going.
Yeah, plus, they have the Man Cave.
And sizzling hot prices at Coos Comfort Furniture and Appliance.
290 North Central Boulevard in Coquille.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Minute.
62% of Americans worried about paying for housing. Half of America's companies say they're not hiring anymore. A new survey that came out, 52% of American businesses have implemented hiring freezes. This is predictable. The Biden inflation nightmare now has middle-class families turning to food banks. Tightening of the family budget is now apparent at these nation's food banks. Industry leaders telling Fox News Digital that the middle-class families are waiting in the longest lines that some locations have ever seen. We've never seen so many people online, said Karen Aaron, president and CEO of the Feeding Westchester. Westchester County in New York is not a poor county.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Listen, the last time the economy looked like this, the stock market tanked 50%. The U.S. dollar lost 46% of its value, and the price of oil quadrupled. Yet, while the U.S. economy collapsed and inflation ran through the roof, the price of gold shot up 1,300%, and silver rocketed over 2,400%. So if history repeats itself, we could see it happen again. Can you afford to miss what could be the biggest gold and silver boom of our generation? That's why I want you to call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD, because when you do, you'll not only get the chance to protect your retirement savings with gold and silver, but as a Sean Hannity listener, you could get $10,000 or more in free silver just for doing it. This is a rare opportunity, and that's why I want you to call, again, Goldco at 855-815-GOLD. That's Goldco, 855-815-GOLD. Don't miss out. Check them out today.
We're back in session. It's the Rob Taylor Report. And here he is, Rob Taylor.
I want to send out a congratulations to Michelle and Coquille. You won that McDonald's package. We'll send that out tonight. And for the rest of you who are listening who probably haven't died of shock yet, yes, we are sexualizing children and grooming them in our public schools. And you as a parent don't even have a right to know. That's right. They can do this, and it doesn't seem like you don't even have to be notified about this. And if we get a new law in this state, HB 2002, they're going to be able to give abortions to 10-year-olds, and they don't even have to tell you about it. They're going to be able to turn Tommy into Tammy, and they don't have to tell you about it until you figure it out on your own. This is disgusting. This is something we've got to fight against, and we've got Suzanne Gallagher, and she's got this thing called Train, Speak, and Change, and that's why I wanted her on the show so we could talk about how we can train people to speak up and to change what's happening. And Suzanne, where were we?
There are so many rabbit holes we
Yes.
could go down, Rob. It's just crazy. I'm just looking up another link that was on that one article that I sent you. Well, maybe this is the link in my podcast, and it has to do with the money in child sex change. So if we have some time left, we can go over that. But
Okay.
yeah, let's direct your listeners to our website. Our new website is parents, plural, rights, plural, in education.com. And when you get to that site, you will definitely think that you are in the right place.
Right.
We've changed it up a little bit, and now we're promoting membership in Parents' Rights in Education and tools. We have a parent center just for parents. Free training. We have courses in how to testify, how to run for school board. Those are two of our main courses. Now, they're not just two trainings. I think there are about 20 total separate trainings. You can take them on your own schedule, right at your home office, at your desk, or on your laptop. You can and then you take these brief courses. And there's a small, test to sort of keep you on track. And then we give a certificate when you pass. And it's all to help you to be better equipped to stand up to your school district. I see that GSA Club event was canceled.
Yes.
I tried to sign up for it. I thought I might want to run down there and check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. We've tried too.
Tape it. I thought there might be some really good content, but it sounds like the parents, took matters into their own hands, and you did a good job telling them, contact these school board members.
Right.
And I want to ask, are there any candidates running for the school board in your district?
Yes, and we've got some really good candidates. 2 years ago, 3 candidates got on conservative candidates, and like you said, these are conservative people who aren't moderates, they're conservatives, got onto the North Bend School District, and we got a couple on into the Bandon School District. And this year, we've got 3 more, and if they win, that will be 6-1 conservatives to what they call a moderate on the North Bend School District. And we also have some candidates in the Bandon School District as well. I would have to check to find out the other 5 school districts and where we are with that, but I do know, and I was going to ask you if you happen to talk or go, and if a school district asks you to come to the school and give a presentation, do you do things like that?
I don't do a lot of traveling because I am running a national organization, but there are a couple things that would be helpful, and that would be for them to, to join our organization. And to have a point person. A point person is a leader, somebody that, is a contact person.
Right.
And we have set up, I believe, Facebook groups just for the folks in your area. You can get on their private groups and you can talk amongst yourselves. And, so we're supplying all kinds of help for you. You don't have to create your own website. You don't need to provide content. We want to free parents up to take action. They're busy enough as it is, and they're overwhelmed with these issues. There is strength in numbers, and it is about winning elections. And I mean, we have seen incredible things happen when parents stand up and speak out. First of all, what happens is you find out there's at least 10 or more people just like you who didn't have the guts to say what you're saying.
Right.
So that's why these, learning how to give a testimony, that's helpful in, public speaking of any kind. And I also want to mention that we endorse candidates, and now we have our candidate endorsement form. The process is much faster.
Great.
Our goal is to endorse this year, minimum 1,000 candidates for school board and other races. We have a candidate questionnaire that is also featured on our website. It's in the, let's see, if I go to Parent Center, click on Parent Center and scroll down, there's the candidate endorsement form. And if you've got, it's not too late to be endorsed. It won't be in the voter's guide, but we'll do social media promotion for you. And, candidates want our endorsement. Yeah. Everybody knows what this means. Parents' rights in education. They get it. And it's kind of code for the good housekeeping seal of approval for school board.
We don't get normally for the candidates, we don't have a voter pamphlet guide because our county doesn't have one.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
But
we can help them. Yeah, we can help promote. It's never too late. When you're running for office, every vote counts, and you want to be campaigning up to that last minute. I just put a link in the chat for the link to the candidate questionnaire.
Thank
and
you.
Then when they fill that out, then we follow up with them, yes or no. And then it goes from there. We send you several memes, a congratulatory letter. And then we post those on the Oregon Facebook group, and you can share it around to everybody via email or whatever. And then afterward, we follow up, and we'll toot the horn. And if you win, we gotta start banging cymbals and celebrating these wins, because these are hard fought races at the school board level. It used to be people didn't pay much attention,
right?
But the fact that we're giving them, a challenge. The other side are, we might need to be sending them boxes of Depends, because they're going to be wetting their pants. They're going to be off their board. And, and I want to point to Newburgh. They're a perfect example. Sometimes it takes, 2 to 4 years minimum before you can flip a board. And then the key is start changing policy.
Yep.
So,
and that's something else you teach as well, what policies that they can use to kind of counter what the state is putting out, correct?
Right. Well, first it's pretty obvious. We have a list of policies we'd like to see change, right up front. And we also want to put pressure, on the legislature, but there are things that school boards can do. For example, deciding what books should be in your school library or what curriculums are used in your school, what is appropriate for your community. And, the way that we determine if it's appropriate or not is if it's non-academic and it's controversial, you don't need to teach it.
Correct.
I mean, why?
Why?
Because every single child in that school has the right to be safe.
Why do they need drag shows? I mean,
there's a whole nother thing. So I really want to direct. I don't want to take away from your podcast.
Yeah, don't take away. Yeah.
But my podcast is only 15 minutes to 25 long, and it's very topical. I go really fast. I know parents have about 15 or 20 minutes in the car, at a time. Right. Start listening to those podcasts because they are topical, and we have several that address that topic. I mean, the drag history. They say they were gonna teach drag history.
Yes,
it is chilling.
Yes,
this is all about men hating women, and it's believe me, there's nothing nice about it. It's not cute. It's not nice, and it's not for kids.
In fact, the person that they had to teach us was Sid Delicious, and I had to go to the website, and I thought it was a man, but it's actually a woman, and she's not a drag queen. She says she's a drag king. Don't you find that interesting?
Well, they're working hard at being different, if you noticed.
Yes.
It's always, they always want to be different. They want to be different. They want to be different. We have enough differences already. We don't need to be extreme.
Right.
About that. Actually, most people don't really need to work at it. Everybody's different.
Everybody's
from the
different.
Other person. Yeah.
And I totally agree with this. I'm going to go to a commercial because I want a little bit time left, because this is my last commercial break, to talk about the money link and how these operations are really part of the medical health industrial complex. And with that, we'll be right back.
Patriot Press Coos News is a new conservative publication that is far from woke, tells some jokes, and features local news that mainstream media won't touch. For advertising, call Diane at 541-912-4014. Sign up for your free monthly subscription at www.coosnews.online today. That's COOS news.online. This publication is made possible by our great advertisers like Lloyd's Electric, Johnson Rock, Pacific Properties, and Expert.
You only need to hear their name to know that you're dealing with a company that is known for better products, better selection, lowest prices, and people who take a sincere interest in helping you choose the exact right products for both recreational and medicinal use. From flowers to pre-rolls, buds to tinctures, and more, Herbal Choices was first and is readily recognized as the very best. And a lot of the credit goes to the Herbal Choices people. People who are always ready to answer questions and make the best recommendation from the largest selection on the coast. And with 5 locations, you're bound to find an Herbal Choices near you. Coos Bay, North Bend, Charleston, Reedsport, and Bandon. Herbal Choices.
The first, the best, the only choice. Herbal Choices.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. For use only by adults 21 years of age and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
For 20 years, the Oregon Firearms Federation has been Oregon's only no-compromise voice for gun rights. While other organizations who claim to speak for gun owners made deals to bargain away your liberty and property, office stood face-to-face with the gun grabbers in Salem to protect your rights. But there's never been a more dangerous time to be a gun owner in Oregon, and we need your help. To become part of the fight for Second Amendment rights and to sign up for free legislative alerts, please visit our website at OregonFirearms.org. That's OregonFirearms.org.
We're back in session. It's the Rob Taylor Report. And here he is, Rob Taylor.
I'm speaking with Suzanne Gallagher from Parents' Rights and Education. And Suzanne, one of the things that just recently happened is that the Coos County had a contract with a group called Youth Era And Youth Era had a group here called Coos Drop. They have a building where teenagers can come hang out. And come to find out, they're pushing critical race theory. They're pushing this DEI stuff. They're, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and especially transgenderism. Well, the county wanted to go in and pull some of that stuff out. And so what has happened is that Advanced Health took the contract away from the county and paid for the county's portion of that contract, so that Coos Health or Coos Drop is no longer regulated by the county commissioners. And they wanted to do that to what I think is cover up what is basically a trans factory, to take people who are vulnerable, young kids, and convince them through Advanced Health to go and find out how to get the treatment. And I think it's part of this medical industrial complex. Am I off there, or is this kind of what's happening?
Oh, no, you're not off at all. In fact, for a long time, the Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Department of Education, as long as this organization has been around, since 2011, it has been widely known, and they brag about it, that they work hand in hand, arm in arm with the Oregon Health Authority.
Mm-hmm.
I testified against a bill that would have allowed for surveys of students, because they say, well, we need to know what these students are thinking, how they're identifying and everything, so that we can provide services. Okay, well, if they're doing that, then they're giving these surveys to children that would never have even thought
right
about any of these behaviors or orientations. But they feel pressured to check a box. So it goes from there. And then the Oregon Health Authority, and they were writing the surveys, and they wanted the surveys. And who filled that hearing room?
Medical professionals.
Trans people. Basic Rights Oregon. Lots of women with, very short haircuts. That's who was filling the room. Very few people like myself in opposition. Planned Parenthood. All those kinds of organizations are pushing it. So we ask ourselves, and people are always doing, they always wonder, well, what's in it for them? I mean, why is it so important? Why do they want our kids? I mean, well, because Planned Parenthood isn't doing as many abortions as they used to.
Right.
And they're big into this. You go on the Planned Parenthood website. I mean, all of this information is available on the internet. Anybody has to do is just Google, ask a question. Does Planned Parenthood offer chest binders? Oh, yes, for free. They'll send them to kids. In fact, there are organizations, that was a news story recently. A woman's daughter received a chest binder in the mail.
Right.
And who's pushing that? The GSA Club. So they've got a whole system. Now, I titled my article here, K through 12 schools, referral service for medical experiments on minors. That's what they're doing. It's a referral service. They're referring these kids, and we featured Children's Hospital, Dornbecker Children's Hospital. They have a full-on clinic for gender services, and that includes tucking of male genitals.
Right.
Let's see. Okay, so we have received multiple calls from Oregon parents stating their schools are recommending the use of opposite sex pronouns for their children, as well as puberty blockers, chest binders, male genital tucking, and cross-sex hormones. And this is all, in secrecy.
Yep.
I mean, that's the scary part. The parents don't know. I was just talking with a mom that used to live in Newburgh. We feature her testimony in a presentation on our website. It's a video. She didn't really know what was going on. She was really clueless. She didn't understand. Her daughter was wearing a chest binder, and now her daughter's 22. She's going to go to the doctor and have her breasts examined. She's afraid she's been harmed.
Right.
Because she wore that thing.
Sad.
They're doing this under the guise of federal and Oregon anti-discrimination law, just like we read in the, in the policy statement. School psychologists are now contacting parents. They're talking to our kids as young as kindergarten. I've got a call from a fellow in Philomath. His little boy who wears his hair kind of long, he lives in sort of a communal arrangement. We don't judge anybody. We take calls from anybody who's a parent.
Right.
But the bottom line is that little boy is being raised, with a lot of women in the household. And so, he's going to copy whatever he sees. And after my conversation with his dad, I said, why don't you get him let him have his hair long in the back and he can get a mullet, but,
Right.
get his hair cut. Help him out here. Okay,
Quickly,
be the dad.
give out that website because we're out of time.
We're out of time. Okay, it's Parents' Rights, plural, in education.com. Easy to find. Join us. Fill out the membership form. That way you'll be on our email list. And I'm giving Rob quite a few of these links, so maybe you'll want to publish those.
I will
Rob,
share
and
them.
get people, looking at these articles. A lot of money in this. Billions.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. We'll get you back on, and I have a big guest for you next week. So that until then, carry on, Coos County. Carry on.
This is 6:30 a.m. and 101.1 FM KWRO, online at kwro.com.